Hello, this is Jeff Dobbs with the Island Update Beach Report. And I'm here on beautiful, gorgeous Sand Beach with lifeguards Julie McDonald and Jeff Switzer, who are going to tell us some of the do's and don'ts about going to the beach in Acadia National Park. Jeff, tell me some of the do's.
First of all, we want everybody to have a good time. You should bring some sunscreen and some suntan lotion. Also, you should bring some warm clothing if you expect it to be cool, because sometimes we have some cool weather down here. We have some nice hikes around the beach, great head trail and the ocean path. And also, if you plan to spend a whole day here, probably you should bring a picnic and some soda to enjoy the beach with.
Thank you very much, Jeff. All right, Julie, what are some of the don'ts?
Jeff, we do not allow alcohol on the beach, dogs, flotation devices such as air mattresses or inner tubes. We do not allow boats to be launched from the beach, and we do not allow scuba diving. That's about it. We do allow a good time, though.
Thank you guys very much, but before I leave the beach, I'm going to ask you one last question. I know you both are bombarded with one question every day 1,000,000 times. What is the water temperature here on Sand Beach?
It ranges between 55 and 58.
Can you confirm that, Jeff?
Sure can.
Well, there it is. Don't bother asking him that question anymore if you see this program. This has been Jeff Dobbs, the Island Update Beach Report, and hoping that you're enjoying your stay here in Mount Desert Island.
Hi, I'm Anne Napier. Welcome to the Dining Out Show. I think you'll find the restaurants on Mount Desert Island are as interesting and as varied as the natural wonders of the area. Come along with me and we'll explore them. For an international treat, Dining Out takes you aboard the Bluenose Ferry for a cruise to Nova Scotia. Christine, the new Bluenose was inaugurated into service in May of this year, and it had many changes not only in form but also in function.
That's right, and one of the major changes that we made was in the food services. We have a cafeteria for snacks and light meals, but we also have a very special service in that we have a buffet. We serve a breakfast buffet and a lunch and then a dinner, during which we feature a hip of beef. We have cold cuts, salads, cheeses, fruit, and a variety of hot dishes, seasonal hot dishes, maritime seafoods. It's very, very special. We are very pleased and proud.
So all the people that I saw loading their cars this morning very early can come up for your breakfast buffet, and if they are aboard ship coming back in the evening, they can have the luxury of your dinner buffet.
That's right. They're pretty hungry in the morning because we start loading the ship at 7 o'clock and people often don't have time to have breakfast before they come to the terminal. So there's a pretty big lineup once they get on board, get their cars settled, and then the first thing they do is go and have breakfast.
And you also have a luncheon buffet.
Yes, we do. And there again, it's pretty substantial, and maybe some of the people who didn't have breakfast have lunch, or the other way around. Then the dinner buffet is very, very special. We have a variety of food, and we have a chef carving station at which the chef carves a hip of beef or baked ham.
How long does it take to cook a hip of beef?
Oh, anything from 16 to 18 to 20 hours, depending upon the size of it.
So you really start that almost the day before the passengers might eat it?
Indeed, yes. And it cooks very slowly on a low temperature. And I think it's pretty succulent, at least the beef that I've tasted is.
So people aboard ship can have a treat at any of the 3 meals in terms of fine dining?
Yes, indeed.
A restaurant noted for being among the pines in the summertime and among the palms in the winter is Testa's restaurant on Main Street in Bar Harbor, just up from the waterfront. 62 years of family management have resulted in the garden room, the tavern room, and the dining room, each with its own unique atmosphere for dining. Hazel, you have a special feeling for Testa's and what makes it unique among the restaurants in Bar Harbor. Tell me about that.
Well, I think, first of all, we have first quality food at sensible prices. We have a fully trained staff. And third, 62 years of family tradition cooking.
Tom, with 62 years of family involvement in the restaurant business, it sounds like there's quite a history behind Testa's.
Well, my grandfather went to Palm Beach, Florida, from Chicago and opened first Testa's in 1921 and followed the resort trade to Bar Harbor, and in 1933 opened this restaurant here. And July 25th will be exactly our 50th year.
Up here?
Up here, yes. We've been open in Palm Beach for 62 years.
So you see familiar faces in Bar Harbor from Palm Beach and vice versa in the wintertime?
We have a lot of people that see us in both places. They remember us in Florida and come up here for a summer vacation and see us here.
And Hazel, with all that family-style cooking, tell me a bit about your menu and what you serve.
Oh, we have a very varied menu. We have Italian specialties. Spaghetti Testa is a very popular one. That's a baked spaghetti with diced chicken, green peppers, and mushrooms in a casserole, and then it's baked. Oh, we have steak for two, which is a broiled sirloin, charcoal broiled sirloin, lobsters, native seafood, just about anything anybody could want.
I understand you serve breakfast from the time you open in the morning until midnight at night, and that I can also come in and get dinner from the time you open in the morning until midnight at night. So no matter what kind of meal I want, I can get it any time of the day or night.
That's right, we have continuous food service from 6 a.m. until midnight.
A familiar and popular place for after-dinner drinks in Bar Harbor is Geddy's Pub, located near the pier and across from Agamont Park. Sharon, Geddy's Pub is not a restaurant, but it's an interesting place to go after dining out. Tell me a little bit about how Geddy's got started.
The building was bought 10 years ago when the downstairs was just used for an area where you could come and have a drink.
And it's evolved from that into several different areas, each with their own function?
That's right. The backyard patio has been built within the last 6 or 7 years.
And the third area is the upstairs lounge.
That's right. And we have a Dixieland jazz band that plays up there 4 nights a week, and on the other nights we bring in other entertainment that plays on the off nights.
So outside bands come in for that.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have 3 distinct areas at the pub. Can people move from place to place?
Yeah, you can carry your drinks from the upstairs to the patio, down to the pub, wherever you want to go. Yeah.
Sharon, besides the nightly entertainment that you have at the pub, you have special events that take place over the course of the summer. Tell me about some of those.
We've had things like the Caribbean Beach Party held in the downstairs pub, where we filled the entire pub with sand and swimming pools, and there was like 400 or 500 people here. We have a half New Year's party, Geddy's birthday party.
A whole lot of different
all
kinds of things to do for people who want to have some fun. Part of what's very interesting about Geddy's Pub is the great variety and number of signs that he has hung all over everywhere. It looks like they come from all over the world.
A lot of them have. He has a lot of friends.
Jerry does?
Yeah, from all over the world, and they send signs to him, and when they come and visit him in the summer, they bring signs with them.
I understand Jerry's also an antique hunter. He hits the antique sales and finds old signs.
Old signs, really old ones, that he keeps in the upstairs lounge.
With the 3 areas in the pub, then, you can have a place for a quiet conversation, or you can listen to some toe-tapping jazz along with a drink, or you can have a very casual kind of atmosphere in the lower pub.
One of the 3 you're going to want to end up in.
You're going to run into somebody, at least half a dozen people you know.
Yeah.
For aficionados of breakfasts and eggs, the Harborview Restaurant offers a great deal of variety. Located on the waterfront in Bar Harbor, an early morning cup of coffee at the Harborview has the constant accompaniment of boats moving in and out of the harbor. John, you have quite a background in the restaurant business. Tell me how you got involved in it.
Started out in the Mary Jane at a very young age, leased a lot of restaurants here in town, and worked Vegas and Miami, and eventually ended up back here in Bar Harbor.
Dave, you're known around Bar Harbor for things other than cooking and restauranting. How did you and John get together in the restaurant business in Harborview?
Well, John is actually a songwriter, and I'm a musician, and he writes some very nice lyrics, and I decided to put music to him. And I used to come in and bother him while he was cooking back at the other Harborview. And one day he asked me if I wanted to get into cooking. I says, I couldn't do that.
So here
I am.
So now you're partners in more sense than one.
Right, absolutely.
John, Harborview is an old name for your restaurant, and you have a new location this year.
We were at Main Street for 12 years, and now we're on West Street, overlooking the bay. And we find out that people don't know where we are, but we're finding that eventually they're finding us. So it's coming slow. I know that in a year's time, once word gets around, that the change will be good, because it's a fine location.
For elegant dining in a Victorian setting, the Central House is an excellent choice. This fine example of the old Bar Harbor summer homes is located on Cottage Street across from the post office. Kathy, Central House used to be one of the old Bar Harbor homes, one of the summer cottages. Tell me a little bit about how you happened to get involved in running a restaurant and an inn in it.
That's right, Anne. The Central House was built in 1887 as a home, someone's private home. Jerry, my husband, and myself bought it in 1979 and have been restoring it. We have a restaurant and an inn here. We have 12 rooms for rent, and we have a dinner restaurant and a small cocktail lounge, and it's really a lot of fun.
Jerry, there's a very pretty latticed porch around Central House with lots of plants and window boxes and rocking chairs. Do you use that for anything in particular?
Yes, we do. We serve dinners there every night, and we also serve cocktails and desserts there till midnight every night. It's a very popular spot for the locals and very nice for the tourists who come to town and like to see a little old Bar Harbor. It's always a nice summer breeze blowing down the porches, and flowers on all the tables and candles, and kind of really make a nice memorable stay for people kind of having a nice dinner.
Sounds rather romantic.
Yes, it is.
Kathy, when I came in, I saw you with your hands in the middle of a duck. Tell me a little bit about the food that you serve at Central House.
Well, Anne, that was a spiced apricot duck. Actually, we have a very varied menu, something for everyone.
Kathy, I noticed bouillabaisse on your menu also.
That's right. It's a Creole version of the French classic. It has scallops and shrimp and lobster and fresh fish, and it's a very popular dish. It's very spicy. We also have some very nice Western steer tenderloin dishes, and we have a steak rossini, that's with our house pate, and the filet, of course, and a very rich Madeira sauce. We also have a steak Henry IV, which is unbelievably popular.
For those of you who want more time to enjoy Acadia National Park, sandwiches and pizzas are quickly and expertly created at the Epi Sandwich Shop on Cottage Street in Bar Harbor. Hi, John. I hear you make the fastest sub in town.
Oh, you heard right, Ann.
Does that go for your pizza, too?
That's the same thing.
Well, how about making the Up and Epi special? Show me your speed here.
All right. You want that with hot sauce or sweet sauce or anything on it?
Oh, I like them hot.
All right. All submarines come with onions, tomatoes, green peppers, pickles, olives. You're going to be kissing anyone later on?
Don't think so.
All right, then I'll put the onions on there for you.
That's fine. While you're making the sub, John, tell me about calzones. That's a new name to me.
Well, calzones we stole from the next door neighbor down the street here. We never really knew what they were. It took us very long to find out. We saw a lot of them. We offer chicken and broccoli and cheese, sausage, spinach, and cheese.
You got a vegetarian one there?
We have a vegetarian one. Comes with spinach, mushrooms, and cheese. Our biggest seller seems to be the chicken and broccoli. People like that the best of all. That's our own little creation. And did you want this for here to go?
Well, I think I'd like to take it to the park.
All right. I want you to let you know, Ann, that we have a lot of rolls are homemade here. We got the freshest buns in town.
You do? What time do you open in the morning?
Well, we open up around 8 o'clock in the morning if people want to pack it out and take it out and get out of town real early.
People want a picnic, huh?
People want a picnic?
Like me.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks a lot, John. I'm off to the park. Sitting on a point of land overlooking the bay, the Bar Harbor Motor Inn offers leisurely dining in a more formal setting. The reading room of the past fed the intellectual appetites of Bar Harbor citizens. The present reading room attends to the gustatory needs of visitors and local people alike. Hi,
Hi, Bruce. Mind if Dining Out takes a peek at your dining room?
Sure, Ann. Come right in.
Bruce, how did you select the reading room as the name for the dining room at the Motor Inn?
Well, in choosing a name for the Motor Inn dining room, we were looking for something that had a basis in fact. And the Motor Inn was, in fact, known as the reading room long before it was a hotel.
So there's a real historical basis for the name.
Absolutely.
Tell me a bit about the kinds of food you serve in the reading room, Bruce.
Well, the menu is 80% seafood, and of course we specialize in lobsters. We also have two specialties of the inn, which are items that people have been coming to the Motor Inn for years and years to have, rack of lamb and chateaubriand. Those are both carved tableside and served for two.
Do you have a shore dinner?
We do have a shore dinner. That would be our deluxe shore dinner, a cup of chowder, steamed clams, tossed salad, boiled native Maine lobster, potato, vegetable, and sherbet for dessert.
The reading room is a nice place to eat dinner overlooking the bay. What about breakfast, Bruce?
It's a lovely place to watch the sun come up over the Frenchman's Bay and have breakfast.
What about Sunday brunch?
We serve a Sunday brunch from 11 to 3. It's buffet style with many gourmet items and including a complimentary glass of champagne.
I notice you have a dance floor, Bruce. Do you ever use it?
We certainly do. Right now we're featuring the Ronnie Lord Duo on Friday and Saturday nights, and they specialize in music from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and the dance floor gets a pretty good workout.
Does that mean you have a dress requirement then?
Not really, although many men do feel comfortable wearing jackets for dinner. The dress is casual.
Do you also accommodate families for dinner?
Yes, we do. This year we've reintroduced our children's menu, and we welcome families.
So it's a good place to have dinner overlooking the bay.
Sure is.
A supermarket seems an unlikely place to go dining out, but owner Don Allen shows us how that can be accomplished.
Don, isn't it a little unusual to have a salad bar in the middle of a grocery store?
Well, I guess maybe so, but after all, this is where all the product is.
Mm-hmm. And you do all your preparation from your own produce here?
Oh, yes. It's all fresh daily. In fact, it's made up several times daily.
I've noticed when I've been in before, I've actually fixed salads here, that the bar is kept very nice and clean and things are very fresh.
This is the one thing that we aim for, to keep it clean and keep it real nice and fresh.
You have a variety of things on your salad bar. Tell me a little bit about what you got.
Well, we've got just about anything that you would want in a salad. The basics, of course, lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, celery, peppers, onions. And then we try to alternate the items daily to try to have a different variety for people coming in every day.
Don, the next thing I'm going to do is create my lunch.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I'm going to start out with lettuce. And I think a cherry tomato.
Sure to get enough now.
And some cucumbers, some onions. I like onions. And some fresh mushrooms. And a little bit of radishes. And some green peppers. And I think a little bit of egg salad to go with it. Don, I think I'm finished creating and I'm ready for a fork.
Okay, if you think you have enough.
I certainly do. I have a masterpiece from Don's Shop and Save Salad Bar.
I hope you'll enjoy it.
Just up the hill from the town pier, Tripp's restaurant on Main Street in Bar Harbor represents family dining in a dual capacity. For over 40 years, the Tripp family has fed families visiting and living on the island.
I've heard so much about your mile-high pie, Paul. That sounds like it's something that's very special.
Well, it is. And I'll tell you what I'll do, Anna. I will have a piece brought to you so you can try it for
wonderful.
yourself. All right?
Great.
Paul, would you get a piece of pie for this lady here? Slow down.
That is very spectacular. You're absolutely right. That looks wonderful. And this is a pie that you've gotten an award for too, I believe.
Yes, we did. Let's see here. I'll show this to you.
The Real Paper Awards, Tripp's chocolate ice cream pie. Well, it looks like the strawberry
I gave you
strawberry is wonderful. That time of year.
Paul, you mentioned you're not just a dessert restaurant. It sounds like you've got some foods you're going to be serving this summer that you're excited about.
We are. We have changed our menu from previous years. We're serving Chesapeake Bay oysters.
And they look wonderful.
Don't they look good? That's my favorite. That's the reason they're on the menu. But we're serving oysters, oyster stew, oysters fried, oysters on a half shell, steak and oysters. Now, if I sound like I'm oystering you to death, I probably am, but I like oysters.
And you'll have seafood as well. Got
All
your,
types.
Your good sole that you've been serving?
Oh, that sole is unbelievable. That is my wife's recipe. She came up with that one. I don't know how she did it, but it's great. And we've had raves on it.
Thank you for joining me today on the Dining Out Show. I hope you'll join me again when I visit more restaurants on Mount Desert Island. This is Anne Napier, hoping that your every meal is a delight.
Well, that's it for this week's show.
I hope you enjoyed our visit aboard the motor vessel Bluenose.
I'm Jeff Dobbs.
And I'm Kathy Moran saying aloha.
And happy sailing.